Welcome back, everybody, to the Swoop Radio Edition. I'm Dante Fantuzzi, and I'm here with my boy
Josh Sanchez.
And it's been a crazy weekend for sports. A crazy weekend.
Well, besides football, the football games are kind of boring.
What do you mean boring, bro?
They're just.
Did you not just see what Atlanta did to Green Bay?
No. Like it was good that they had it was like the two best teams are in the Super Bowl by far. Like they dominated and they proved themselves that they are in the Super Bowl. They're definitely Super Bowl caliber teams. But the games, they weren't exciting. Like, it was two blowouts. Like, the other teams didn't put up a fight. Like, Pittsburgh was too weak.
I think Pittsburgh shot themselves in the foot a little bit.
Well, Pittsburgh,
I don't think they adjusted to the game.
No, they did not. Because, look, they rushed. Here's their plan. Basically.
Listen, bro. If they would have just stopped playing zone the whole game and actually bring some pressure to Tom Brady, and literally the whole game they played zone.
Yeah.
And it's really not
exactly
hard.
What I was about to say.
And it's really not hard to beat a zone.
Yeah, and Tom Brady's the greatest one of the
what did Chris Hogan do? He found the open spot. That's why Chris Hogan had 9 catches for 180 yards with 2 touchdowns. He found the open spot the whole game. The whole entire game, he was open.
I know. Chris Hogan and Julio Jones had the exact same stat line. And it's crazy because I saw this picture, and they showed how Julio Jones got to the league instead of Chris Hogan.
Right.
Chris Hogan was a lacrosse player at, I believe, Penn State and some other college. Mm-hmm. And some guy his senior year tells him, look, you should try football. You're pretty athletic. Try it. Gets undrafted. The Bills, they don't really give him a chance. Patriots pick him up, and now Chris Hogan is a new star now that complements Edelman and Amendola. And he's pretty much replacing what Gronk
and Bennett.
Yeah, and Bennett. Yeah.
Not forget Bennett over there.
Because when the Patriots lost Gronk, they didn't really know who to turn to, and he's been their emergent star. Whereas Julio Jones, you know the story, Alabama, top draft pick in the NFL
Nick
draft.
Saban product, baby.
Yep, best wide receiver in the class, and now best receiver in the league. That's why Atlanta traded up so much to get him.
Now that we're still on the Tom Brady and the Patriots thing, do you think Tom Brady liberated the Deflategate?
I think the whole Deflategate thing was just stupid, in my opinion. I feel like they suspended him at the wrong time. Roger Goodell obviously doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, I already think Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time when he won his 4th Super Bowl.
Right.
And, I mean, everyone says, like, Montana went 4 of 4, and Bradshaw went 4 of 4, whereas Brady's 4 of 6. But I think this Super Bowl will decide if he's the greatest of all time. In my opinion, I think he's the greatest, but in the minds of a lot of people, he's still not. If he gets ring number 5, he's the greatest of all time. He's been now he has the record for most Super Bowl appearances with 7 from a quarterback or any player, in fact. Mm-hmm. If he wins this one and gets ring number 5, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. But if he loses, it's going to be like a LeBron James thing, whereas you're going to talk about Michael being perfect, whereas James, he's been to more finals, but he's lost.
Right.
He almost lost half of them.
Right.
Because if Brady loses, he's 4-3 in the Super Bowl. But if he wins, he's 5-2, greatest quarterback of all time. So that's pretty much what he has to prove this Super Bowl. I mean, he's been here before. I wouldn't be surprised if they won, but I'll get to my predictions later.
Now, from my point of view, I feel like he been obliterated that Deflategate thing.
It's so stupid.
Honestly, I mean, we're talking about a great now. Look what he did before the whole Deflategate thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, now, apparently to New England, Tom Brady, the whole staff, the whole organization, and New England fans, they don't think he cheated. Which honestly, we don't know if he cheated. We don't know what really happened.
Yes.
And he only got caught doing it one game if he did cheated. It's just one game.
Yeah, to deflate.
Now, do you really think one game is gonna define his whole career?
And
I don't think so.
Here's a funny thing. My high school football coach was telling my friend, because my friend's a Patriots fan, he was saying how in high school before the games he would deflate the football sometimes because he knows the refs wouldn't check it.
Right.
And I mean, it's not really like a serious thing. Like at first I was like, oh snap. But after like sitting down and thinking about it and like calming my emotions down, I'm like, it really is just a pointless thing. He got suspended 4 games for deflating, or something a coach's issue
But
probably.
honestly, bro, I feel like there should be no such thing as this topic that we're talking about now, because his career has been certified as a GOAT, a great, whatever category you want to put him in, before this Deflategate thing. I mean, the man has won 3 Super Bowls before that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they killed the Colts that game.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah,
humiliated them.
I mean, that's pretty much every team that goes in New England. The only teams,
humiliated them.
the only teams that have a shot to beat New England are the teams.
What was
that
the what was the
can
score of
generate
that game?
pass
Like
rush.
36-6, 37-7,
It was worse.
something like
They had over 40 points.
It was
on
something like that. So yes, he obliterated the whole Deflategate thing. Tom Brady, after that 4-game suspension, came in with one mindset and one mindset only. I just think he took it personal, and he's rubbing it in Roger Goodell's face now.
Yeah.
You want to suspend me? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in and take the league over by storm again. And guess what? I got more rings that you can never have.
Because I mean, Tom Brady has had better teams in the past.
Yes.
Like statistically wise, like his defense is ranked the best this year, but
player wise though, previous years he has had better players.
Yes, but player wise, like no one really stands out on New England's defense unless you're a Patriots fan. You know a lot of guys on defense. Like as an outsider, like as a non-Patriots fan, like I can only name you a couple people. And I know Collins was one of them, but they got rid of Collins, their best pass rush.
Speaking of Collins, he just signed a 4-year deal worth $50 million with to stay with the Cleveland Browns.
The Browns?
Yeah, just to put that out there.
Because I thought he was in Arizona, so he must have left Arizona.
No, Jamie Collins? No, Chandler Jones got traded to Arizona.
Oh, Chandler Jones. My fault.
Yeah.
They traded a couple people.
Yeah.
Because I thought Jones was a legit pass rush. But
now speaking on our football topic, another topic that I want to discuss is about Matt Ryan. Now, dude, I personally don't think this, but is Matt Ryan receiving too much credit for the Falcons' success?
no.
I said the same thing now.
Because what Matt Ryan has done these past 2 games is astonishing to me. Because one, he played the Seahawks defense. Yeah, they didn't have Earl Thomas, but they still had Bennett. They still had Richard Sherman. They still had Cam Chancellor.
Key players. Superstar players.
Did they still have KJ Wright? I don't know if they do.
I think they do.
So they still have.
It's KJ Wright or Bobby Wagner?
Yeah, I think it's Bobby Wagner. Yeah, my fault. I don't
KJ
know.
Wright was the one that signed with the Raiders last
Yeah,
offseason?
I don't know. One of the two.
the two.
But either way, they have key superstars on their defense that won them the Super Bowl, and took them to 2 Super Bowls. And Matt Ryan threw for almost 400 yards and 3 touchdowns against them, and in the
made
past,
them look silly. Just
and
terrorize that defense.
And then people were still thinking that he was gonna play bad against the Packers, and I thought that he was gonna exactly what happened. I thought Atlanta was gonna rout the Packers because the Packers gave up. Like you could tell they were exhausted from the Dallas game. That Dallas game was everything they got. But yeah, Matt Ryan, 2 playoff games. He's almost thrown for he's thrown over 800 yards.
No, in the 2 playoff games this postseason, he has 700 plus passing yards.
It's close to 800 though.
Yeah, close to 800, and he has about 7 or 8 touchdowns.
And no interceptions.
No interceptions.
I mean, he should have had a couple in the Green Bay game, but
but
0 interceptions. I believe Joe Flacco is the only other quarterback to have a run like that with no interceptions so far. I mean, I don't want to jinx Matt Ryan in the Super Bowl, but if Matt Ryan does not throw a pick, I remember this because I remember Joe Flacco had this run where Flacco threw for, I think, 12 or 13 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions in his playoff run where they won the Super Bowl. Joe Montana was the only quarterback to have a better performance in the playoffs. So Matt Ryan's played a less game than both of them, and I believe this game is gonna be a shootout. But we'll talk about the Super Bowl later. But going back to the topic, I believe Matt Ryan I think he needs to get talked about more because of what he's done these past 2 games, and he has the weapons, but he's the one that's he's the one that's controlling all of his weapons. Like, you can't just shut down one guy. That Atlanta's had 13 guys score a touchdown this year. So you can't just focus on one guy because you have other guys out that are just going to snap. Atlanta's offense is very scary, and I don't know how the Eagles held them to 15 points, looking back at it.
So basically, the way I look at it as, yes, you have the weapons, and no, he's not receiving too much credit. For the simple fact is, look at the Giants. The Giants have so many offensive weapons, but I think it leads all up to the quarterback play. As you can tell, they have Odell Beckham, Victor Cruz, Sterling Shepard, the new rookie, Will Tye. They just have a bunch of weapons that can really,
Yeah, that can really do something.
yeah, exactly. But the reason why I say no is because, like I just said, it's all up to the quarterback. The quarterback is the leader of the team, and obviously the quarterback has to get the ball to these playmakers for them to make their plays.
Yeah.
So it's up to the quarterback. No, he's not receiving too much credit. So, I'm going to go back to the Giants example. They have all these superstars, but look how Eli Manning was playing.
Yeah,
Look how he played in the playoffs.
But also your line,
Horrible.
too. Like, that's very underrated. Like, the Atlanta's offensive line, the same starting five has been there every single play. Well, not every single play, but for the most part, they've played in every single game. So they have not had to switch up any positions. They have chemistry. The center is an all-pro, and he's going to go to the Pro Bowl. Because it's crazy because on the offensive line on the East, you have Atlanta center, 3 Dallas Cowboys. You have Zach Martin and the 2 guards, and then you have the guy from Washington, I think the tackle. He's like
Trent
6'8".
Williams?
Yeah, Trent Williams. Yeah, so it's crazy, but he like that tells you how good of a center he is. And Atlanta, that's why their offense has been as good because they're able to protect.
Oh, and the
Matt
center
Ryan.
from Atlanta is Alex Mack.
Yes.
He's the one that signed over the last offseason from the
best free agent signing
Cleveland
of the
Browns.
year.
Yeah. And not even talking about the wide receiving corps. Their running back tandem has to be number 1 in the league. Has to.
Well, it's top. It's top 5. It's third. Their passing's number 1. Their rushing is third.
I don't know another running back tandem better than the Falcons.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking tandem, but I'm just talking about rushing yards per game.
Oh no, I'm talking about just overall.
Yeah, because you don't
That's
have
a 1-2
you pretty
punch.
much have 2 Darren Sproles on your team. Yeah, it's gonna be tough for New England to stop them on defense because, I mean, it's easy to stop Pittsburgh. Well, it's not easy to stop
It's not
Pittsburgh.
easy to stop Pittsburgh, but
But Atlanta, like Pittsburgh's the step there, but Atlanta's just that step
above.
Like Atlanta's the best offense.
So since we
My fault, and they're in a dome, which favors the offense. Like 2 years ago or 3 years ago we're talking about Broncos and the Seahawks, but you got to remember the Seahawks, they're playing in New York, cold game, windy game, favors the defense. You're in a dome, it's gonna be offense. It's gonna be all offense the whole game.
all right, now since we just brought up the Giants and the Steelers in our statements and to support our statements and
Yeah, you
whatnot.
brought them into a podcast. Yeah.
Which receiver do you think cost their team more?
Like, what do you mean, in a bad way?
In a bad way. Obviously, we seen Odell take that trip to Florida the week before they had their playoff game.
Well,
Or
yeah.
do you think he cost the Giants that game? And Antonio Brown, the whole Facebook Live thing, do you think he cost the Pittsburgh Steelers that game?
I think out of the two, I think Odell Beckham had the worst because Antonio Brown was only fined $10,000.
Personally,
But Antonio Brown still had a decent game. He was being double covered the whole game, so he did his part on double coverage. He had I think 6 or 7 catches for 66 yards.
it was 7 catches, 77 yards.
Yeah, 7 catches, 77 yards. So he still had a decent game, whereas Odell had very crucial drops in the beginning of that Packers game. I remember on their first drive, 3rd down and 2, drops a simple slant pattern. Out it's a clear first down drop. And then later in their second drive, he drops a touchdown.
Yeah.
So out of the two.
So literally in
which
the
one-
first half, Odell cost the Giants 10 points.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, right off the bat, because that catch by Odell, they'll be in field goal
But
range.
it's just a personal thought. Antonio Brown showed up to play that game. He
Yeah,
showed up to play, but there wasn't much to do when you're getting double teamed the whole game, or if you line up in the slot. The Patriots have their
they have
end come
yeah.
off, bump him, and then you have your cornerback drop on him, your linebacker or your safety's gonna drop.
Yes.
So really, he's getting double teamed, triple teamed the whole game.
Yeah, so he
Odell,
did,
on the
yeah.
other hand, just did not show up to play the game, like you said, and like I said, key drops cost his team 10 points in the first half. Right
So
off the
yeah,
bat, right off the beginning of the game, you cost your team 10 points.
I can't agree with you more because I mean I have a lot of respect for Odell. I think he is a top. He's probably
A
one of the
top,
top.
a top three receiver, maybe
Yeah,
a top
three.
five,
Yeah,
top three,
top three or top five.
top three, top five. That list can go anywhere,
And
and
he's
other people's
he's a
opinions.
game changer. He's a game changer.
Odell,
Yeah, Odell. He definitely a game changer. Like I mean, he torched the Eagles the first time we played him, and I mean he has all the talent in the world. It was his first ever playoff game, so you could tell.
you
You
know
could
what I
tell it
think
was
the
his first
problem is
game.
with Odell Beckham Jr. He's still a child. He's a
For
man
like,
child to me. I mean, after a game, why are you punching a hole in the wall, banging your head in the door on the door?
he's competitive, but
I mean,
it,
yeah, I mean, it's like everything else. You can see it in a good way and a bad way.
yeah,
Good way is you can tell he has that fire, he has that drive, he's competitive. He doesn't like to lose. But when he loses, he's a sore loser. I mean, I'm not taking no talent away from the man. The man's what, top three receiver, top five receiver.
yeah,
My opinion, top three. But he's just a sore loser, and that's where that personality and that mindset comes in. To me, like I just said, he's a man child. I mean, look at Antonio Brown. Yeah, he did the Facebook Live thing, but you don't see him acting like a child. You don't see him misbehaving or drawing all this social media attention to him. And the thing with Odell, when he draws it to him, when he draws all this attention to him,
he makes a big deal.
he
about
makes
it.
a big deal about it,
Like with the whole net stuff.
and he does like he's just a childish. He's a propaganda wide receiver, a propaganda wide receiver. Now, Antonio Brown. I mean, I don't know. I don't know Antonio Brown. I'm pretty. He doesn't know me. But I mean, just the way he goes about his business, it's like he doesn't care. Yeah, he did the whole Facebook Live thing. He got fined. I really want to ask him, did you care? Is the question.
Yeah.
No, just like everything else, it has its bad and it has its good.
Mm-hmm.
Its good is you can put that all behind you, show up to your job, and do your job well.
Which I think he did it for being double covered.
I'm pretty. Antonio Brown showed up ready to play, but there was just only so much he can do to his ability from the way the Patriots played their defense.
Yeah,
The way I'm pretty sure they had to shut him down, because if they don't shut him down, I think
and Bell.
I think
Bell
we're
got
talking.
hurt, too.
Yeah, and I think if you don't shut Antonio Brown down, there's a whole different plot twist to that game, and maybe we're talking something different.
Yes.
Maybe, don't know.
But yeah, the reason why the Steelers lost that game. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Mike Tomlin, but this loss is on him. No adjustments. You just rush 3, play a zone defense against Tom Brady. You can't do that. The whole
I mean,
game.
not even just the adjustments, bro. I mean, the Patriots had to shut down Antonio Brown, and they wanted their other Steelers receivers to beat them.
Yeah, and
And if you look
was
at it,
missed
Sammy
opportunities.
Coates dropped passes. Jesse James dropped passes. What's the other kid? Eli Rogers
yeah, Eli Rogers. Yes.
dropped passes. Like it, and then
And
when Jesse James catches that ball and gets stopped at the 1 yard line,
it was on the coaching. They did 2
don't-
run plays. They should have done a QB sneak. You have the biggest quarterback in the game. You're at the 1 foot line.
so now I'm really not.
You see Tom Brady do it all the time. It doesn't matter what defense you play on a QB sneak.
So
with Tom
I
Brady,
honestly blame the game on Tom Tomlin. I mean Mike. I said Tom Tomlin. Jesus, pardon me, Mike Tomlin, and those young receivers.
yeah, and that's pretty much I mean, that's what happens when you have a young receiving core. They're gonna make mistakes, but the coaching. I was just mad at. I was just mad that they didn't make any adjustments. They just let Tom Brady torch them the whole game. And I think New England, they can have the same game plan against Atlanta, but it's not going to be as effective as it is against the Steelers. Because if you want to double, you're going to have. We're going to move on to Super Bowl predictions, and this is going to lead to my prediction for New England's defense. Because I know their offense is going to put up at least 25 to 30 points. New England's offense is going to show up.
This is going to be a shootout game, in my opinion.
I think it's going to be a shootout. And New England does have the number one defense, but I've seen number one defenses in the past, like Seattle and Denver last year. And that you can tell those were legit number one defenses. Like you can point out stars. Oh, that's Richard Sherman. Oh, that's Cam Chancellor. That's Earl Thomas, KJ Wright, Bennett. And then on the Denver team, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Harris Jr., Akeem Talib. Like you can
Ward,
you can point out superstars on the top defense. Whereas New England, you have a Malcolm Butler, not a shutdown corner, but he's a good corner. He'll give you consistent play. He will give up big plays in the game. And I'm telling you, I saw the Seahawks, Sherman try to stick Julio Jones one-on-one, could not do it. There's no defensive back in the league that can stick Julio Jones one-on-one. And Julio Jones did it to Sherman with a messed up toe. He has another week to rest his foot. So he's going to be 100% game time, full speed. And what he's done to defenders this whole year, he just doesn't get enough credit because he's not an expressive wide receiver. He's humble. He stays to himself. Like
who do you think is the best receiver in the league?
I think he is.
You think he is?
Watching his body of work, the reason why but he does not get, he's like the Tim Duncan. Like, he's great, but no one talks about him because he's humble. He's not expressive. He was only expressive one game.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but exactly what you just said goes back to the point about these propaganda wide receivers. Goes back to the point.
Yeah.
Julio Jones, hands down the best receiver in the league. Let me tell you why. And the people that are going to listen to this probably not going to agree with me.
He's fast. Runs a 4.3, 4.2.
I don't think it has nothing to do with his playmaking ability.
You saw a couple of those catches, man.
I'm not even talking about the catches, bro. Julio Jones is a football player. You have propaganda football players, and let me tell you who. It even dates back to previous players. Propaganda about Terrell Owens, Chad Johnson. Now we're gonna see the same thing with Odell Beckham, Antonio Brown. Those two receivers right there, propaganda wide receivers. Okay. Not only are they causing havoc on the football field, they're also causing havoc in the locker rooms and off the field. Where did we ever read about Julio Jones?
Nothing.
Thank you. Julio Jones is a professional in my eyes. He goes about his business. He does what he has to do. He goes about his job. He does it very well. He's a Nick Saban product. Dating back to Alabama.
Yep.
There's no other receiver that I've seen can do that. I don't know any other receiver.
And, all right, now moving back on to your Super Bowl prediction, do you want to go first? Who do you think is going to win?
To be honest with you, matter of fact, give me yours. I want to know yours.
All right, well, going back to what I was saying before we went to the receiver talk, New England's offense is going to put up 25 to 30 points. I know that's going to happen. I think New England's going to put up 29. I think Tom Brady's going to score a couple touchdowns. Atlanta's defense it's not the best. They give up big plays, but Atlanta's defense is built off of speed. And one thing, Edelman and Hogan, they're all short, little, quick guys. And Atlanta can match New England speed-wise. I think Blunt's going to have a big game. I think New England's going to run the ball a lot. And then they're going to score a couple touchdowns in the red zone. But I think Atlanta's going to hold them. So let's see here. They score. I think the Patriots are going to score 3 touchdowns, make it 21, and then kick. I'll give the Patriots 27 points. They're going to kick 2 field goals and score 3 touchdowns. Because I'm going to give Atlanta's defense some credit. They're fast, and the problem with Atlanta's defense is they're very young. Give them a couple more years, they'll be a top defense in the NFL because they're built exactly the way the Seattle Seahawks are built. Because their defensive coordinator, well, Seattle's former defensive coordinator is going to. He's Atlanta's head coach. My fault. So I will give their defense credit, and you're going to stop New England a couple times in the red zone holding the field goals. Whereas I think that they're going to double Julio. They're going to have to double Julio. But I think Sanu's going to have a big game, and the two running backs are going to be too much for New England. I think Atlanta it's going to be a good game. It's not going to be a blowout because these whole playoffs have been a blowout. I think Atlanta's going to win 31-27. And the reason why I'm saying that is Matt Ryan has a clean game, 4 touchdowns and a field goal, 0 interceptions. And I just think, yeah, you can double Julio, but you have Sanu, you have Gabriel, you have Freeman, you have Coleman. And that offensive line, the one thing I saw about New England against the Steelers, no pass rush at all. Ben Roethlisberger had all day to throw the ball. His receivers were just not catching the ball. And Atlanta, they don't do that. If you give Matt Ryan time, as what happened with the Packers, it's going to be a long day. Mm-hmm. Whereas Atlanta, their speed, they're quick. They're able. If Atlanta's able to just get enough pressure on Brady, because Brady can't run outside the pocket. If you give just enough pressure on Brady, you're going to hold them to field goal instead of touchdowns. And that's what's going to cost New England the Super Bowl, in my opinion. I have Atlanta winning 31-27.
31-27?
Yes.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
I disagree with you. 100% I agree. I disagree with you. There's only one quarterback in this league to ever beat Tom Brady, and that's Eli Manning. No other quarterback has been successful to do it. So I'm rolling with the GOAT, the great Tom Brady. Listen, I said the same thing about New England last week. Who are they gonna go to? Who are they gonna stop who are they gonna stop from Pittsburgh? They proved me wrong on every facet of the game. Came out and killed Pittsburgh. Humiliated them. Reason why I'm rolling with them is because Bill Belichick. I'm taking exactly what you said from last week. Bill Belichick is a genius, and he's gonna take away Atlanta's biggest weapon,
which is Julio Jones.
And last week I said, who are they gonna have to stop the run game? Yes, Le'Veon Bell is arguably the best running back in the league, but D'Angelo Williams, when we seen the first 3 games, had over 100 yards every game.
Yeah, he showed up. He showed up. It wasn't him. It was Bell.
They stopped him though. They stopped D'Angelo Williams yesterday, and they stopped. They didn't really stop Le'Veon Bell, but really they stopped they stopped their running game. So, thanks to Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and that defense proving me wrong, I'm going with the Patriots. It's gonna be a high scoring game.
So do you think New England's gonna get the ball at the end of the game, or
no? I think Atlanta's gonna commit a turnover to end the game for themselves.
Which I can see happening.
I think New England's gonna come up with a key turnover, and Tom Brady's gonna kneel the ball out for his 5th ring in 7 tries.
Which is very impressive. I mean, I'm not a fan of either or. I mean, I'll be happy if Brady wins it or if Matt Ryan in Atlanta.
Now let me not get you wrong. I would like to see Atlanta win. New face, new team. They haven't won in 18 years. I don't even think.
Yeah, they never won a Super Bowl.
They never won a Super Bowl, and their last Super Bowl appearance was 18 years ago.
Yeah, they lost to John Elway.
So yes, it would be nice to see them in the Super Bowl and win. I would root for them, but I would like Atlanta to win. But honestly, if I just have to take the Patriots in this game. I have to. I can't turn my back on Tom Brady no more like I have all season, because he just keeps proving me wrong again and again. But the one thing that I think is going to really kill the Patriots, they have yet to face a top 10 quarterback in this league.
They faced Ben Roethlisberger last week, and they did.
And you know what's crazy? After looking at the completion ratings and everything else.
Oh yeah, Big Ben had a good game.
Yeah, no. I'm not taking that away. I'm talking about for all season.
Yeah.
Big Ben wasn't even a top 10 quarterback.
What was his rating? I didn't even know.
I can't even remember.
So he
But
wasn't. So he was not a top 10 quarterback.
Nope.
I mean, the reason why I'm sticking to my prediction is because you can take away Julio Jones. Atlanta really doesn't have to run the ball to be successful because you can take away the run. Like Pittsburgh, they need to run the ball with Le'Veon Bell 30-something times in order to win. Whereas Atlanta, they can go in the shotgun and they can throw like a little dump pass to Freeman in the flat. It's like exactly what Clemson does. Well, that's exactly what Clemson does all season because I've watched Clemson all season. If their inside run isn't working, they'll throw out like a little screen pass to the running back or like a little extension of their run game, like a 2-3 yard gain, just to keep the defense honest. And I think like New England does have good linebackers, but they don't really have that shutdown linebacker where like, yeah, he's going to stop Devontae Freeman. Oh, yeah, he's going to stop Coleman. If Atlanta's smart, they should run 2 running back sets a couple times in the game and see how they play against them. I mean, usually, like, if Atlanta didn't have, like, so much, like, this is probably the best offensive team I've seen. I mean, I've seen the Broncos in 2013, but I wasn't really, like, convinced that the Broncos were like that good on offense, and especially like where they were playing, like in New York, cold night, windy night, it favors the defense. And again, Seattle's defense, you knew who was going to shut down who, because those guys were legit. Whereas New England, they don't really have they're the top defense, and history has shown that when top defenses play top offenses, the defense has won 4 of the 5 times they've played. But New England, their defense really doesn't have like a superstar, and I feel like that's what's going to hurt them at the end, not having that superstar.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I hope it's going to be a good game.
I mean, my opinion is going to be a really good game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a shootout game between both offenses, and I really can't see either defensive team getting key stops to that fourth quarter. And I just think the team that's going to do it is New England. I mean, they've done it before.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to do it again.
I'm just going to stick with the hot hand. That's why I'm just going with the hot hand.
Absolutely fine. Bro, I'm rolling with Brady. And to move on.
I usually do roll with Brady, but not this time.
And to move on with our topic, I want to transition into basketball real quick. I was going through, our trade rumors about Jahlil Okafor and Nerlens Noel and all of them. And it seems to me that the only player that is really valuable for trade is Jahlil Okafor. Except for one team that I've created a list of teams that we can trade for. I have 4 teams on my list and 4 players. And out of the 4 teams, 2 of them are superstars. One, I think, can progress into becoming a superstar. He's only in his 2nd year.
Yeah.
He was actually in the same draft class as Jahlil Okafor. We just took Okafor. Okafor was taken off the board first. The one team that I think we can trade with.
Wait, just making sure. So you're down to get rid of Okafor?
I'm not down with it.
Because me and you have
No. I know. We've had this conversation plenty of times, but I'm not down with it. It's just, who else do we have to trade? I mean, honestly, I see it as one team on this list can really use Nerlens Noel. But, I mean, any other team, I can't see them wanting to trade for Nerlens Noel. And if we trade Nerlens Noel, it's going to be for something not even huge. The same way I think we can get something better if we traded Jahlil.
Noel is a bench player.
Yeah.
He's a good bench
except
player.
for the one team I have him playing for. Going off this list, I honestly think the Sixers can get a trade with the Phoenix Suns' Devin Booker.
Ooh, that would be great, but we would have to give
Um,
up so much because Devin Booker's been on fire recently. He's
um,
been all. I mean, I've watched his games. That man can shoot.
Devin Booker has proved he can play in this league.
Yes, he can.
It's upsetting me that we're not playing Jahlil Okafor, especially if you want to use him as trade bait. Why aren't you playing him? Because if you play him, he can prove he's ready to play in this league, which I personally think he's ready to play in this league.
Yeah, but
Now,
I don't believe the Suns are gonna want to get rid of him. He's like the one guy on their team that's just like a no. Like he's their future. And I mean, Okafor is a good center.
but if I'm Jerry Colangelo, the trading price that I will give up to get Devin
Yeah, I want to hear
Booker,
your trading price.
I can't see Phoenix turning it down. You're getting Jahlil Okafor. All I'm asking for is just Devin Booker. Excuse me. We get Devin Booker, you're gonna get Jahlil Okafor and our first round pick.
And you might as well throw out
Not
the
our
Lakers.
first round pick. You're gonna get the Lakers' first round pick. Where if it falls out of the top three, it becomes the Sixers pick. I would trade that to them. So you're gonna get Jahlil Okafor, and you can easily grab, who knows, Lonzo Ball or any point guard that's coming out this draft.
And also,
Because like you said,
yeah.
there's a lot of guards coming out this draft.
Oh,
And to
yeah.
replace Devin Booker, they could easily draft Josh Jackson, a 3-point shooter. All we want to return is just Devin Booker. We keep our first round pick, which could easily fall from like 3 to 5, 6. With that pick, I don't see why we don't take Malik Monk. Our
Yeah.
backcourt would be set,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, that's the perfect pick for us. But if anything, a low key pick to watch on is the Sixers have the right to swap with the Kings, our pick for their pick.
It is.
So
We
maybe
do
like
have
for
that.
that trade, you can add the Lakers because they're not just gonna want the Lakers pick. They're gonna want either our pick or the rights to swap with the Kings with their pick.
That honestly, I will give it to them.
Because it's Devin Booker. It's their
'Cause Devin
it's their
Booker is
franchise. It's like us
still
giving
only-
away Embiid. Like if you want Embiid, you're gonna have to give us everything. You're gonna give us you got to give us your top prospect that you think you're gonna want to trade, as well as two high draft picks.
I don't see why.
I hope that
The
does.
reason
happen
why
because
I
Devin
like this
Booker's
trade so
nice.
much is because Devin Booker is still young. He's been only 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, and
and he
was the
can
youngest-
prove he
was
can
the
play in
youngest
this
person
league.
in the league last year.
Yeah, and he can prove he can play in this league.
Yeah, he dropped 38 in Mexico City the other day.
Another team that I have on our
I hope it does happen. I mean, I like how you have some ideas. I like that. I would love to get Devin Booker, but the chances of getting him are very, very unrealistic.
You never know, bro.
I know you never know.
You never know. Another trade partner I believe that we can come to agreement with. I've said this before, is the Golden State Warriors. I believe with this trade it'll be a little mix up, or not a mix up, but a little different from the Phoenix Suns and Devin Booker trade. With this pick, we give up Nerlens Noel, a first and a second, just for Klay Thompson. But Klay Thompson has to sign that deal with us.
Yeah.
That way, we'll have arguably a top 3 shooter in this league. It'll better our offense. It'll better everything going on in our system. Another team that I wrote down and player was the Chicago Bulls and Jimmy Butler. This is a trade that can possibly happen. Well, not possibly happen, but isn't out of sight. It's something that, they have discussed about. It's not something that I would want because I'm not a huge on Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
I think he'll come in.
To be honest, out of the Klay Thompson deal, I feel like that one has zero chance because Golden State, they're already winning a lot of games now.
And
They're not going to want to ruin that chemistry between Curry and Thompson because Curry's staying. Based off of Curry's comments, he's staying in Golden State. He's going to take the pay cut. He's going to stay. So to get rid of Klay Thompson for Nerlens Noel is not going to be worth it. That's just.
but they're
Yeah, I know.
they're creating salary cap and
Yeah, which
getting 2 draft picks in it with Nerlens Noel and defensive presence that they need.
I know, but they right now like they're finally starting to click as a team. So
Hmm.
that like out of the four you say, like I don't know what the last one is. The Devin Booker one, it does make sense if the Phoenix Suns are willing to do it. And the Golden State one, I mean, we want Thompson, but the chances of Thompson that's lower than Devin Booker.
And I mean, this Jimmy Butler trade possibility is something
Yeah,
I would personally not want because I think he would just come in and ruin everything. Um,
yeah, because Ben Simmons is, I don't like when Ben Simmons.
I
We
mean,
gotta wait and see
even when
about
Ben
Ben
Simmons
Simmons.
comes back, I don't necessarily agree that we should give him the ball immediately because he's coming off a foot injury, and you don't want him to re-aggravate that injury. He's
Hmm.
gonna be on this. He's gonna be on the same type of process with Joel Embiid. He's gonna be on limited
Yeah,
minutes.
I'm expecting
Everything.
24 minutes his first
I'm not
game.
even
Not
honestly. I
even
think his
that. Like,
first game might be 18 to 20 minutes.
yeah,
I don't expect too much from them to put too much stress on no, on Ben Simmons. Um, it's just a trade that I necessarily cannot agree with. I don't like Jimmy. I like Jimmy Butler, but I wouldn't like him to be in the Sixers uniform. Think he'll come in, try and take the whole team over,
yeah,
and just ruin everything
yeah.
that we have going
He
on.
and he. Dwayne Wade has said it. He is the Bulls franchise pretty much.
Hmm. I
So
mean, but the Bulls have come out and said that they're willing to hear offers for Jimmy Butler.
yeah. And what's your offer? Just so who would you give up Okafor?
In that case,
You would give up Okafor, first round pick.
I would I would have to
Yeah,
say it would have to be Okafor
yeah,
and
first round pick.
a first round pick, but we're gonna have to swap first round picks.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to
You could say have rights to swap.
yeah,
That's what teams do nowadays.
or conditional first round picks for
Yeah.
upcoming classes. Now moving on, I think another team that we can possibly trade with
Last but not least,
is the Toronto Raptors. We need
well,
a guard,
which
a
one? Kyle
veteran guard.
Lowry.
No, not Lowry. Corey Joseph. The reason why I say Corey Joseph is because he has that veteran experience. He is pretty much a product of the San Antonio Spurs. Went over there, won a ring. Um, Now, he wouldn't be our starting point guard, but just hear me out on this one. The whole trade will be to create salary cap,
Hmm.
so we can sign over a top free agent.
Because I think Kyle Lowry's a free agent this year.
Honestly, I really want to.
I want us to pursue him.
I really want to take Kyle Lowry. Because honestly, when I looked at the Toronto Raptors offense, to me it has to be run through Lowry or DeRozan. Whichever one has the hot hand, the offense is going to be run through them. I mean, how many teams do we see besides the Warriors have multiple players averaging 24, 25 points a game?
Yeah.
So, really, I mean, I really want to pursue Kyle Lowry because after this year, I believe Ben Simmons will be unrestricted on his minutes. So will Joel Embiid. We can hopefully get a top prospect coming out the draft.
Yep. Monk.
I hope it's Monk.
I hope it is
I
Monk.
mean, we
Or
not.
Dennis Smith. He's good.
I mean, whichever one. I mean, I'll take any one of them from
Because
Malik Monk.
we're not getting it. We're not getting a top.
I mean, I know I don't think we'll probably get. I don't think we'll get top two, but like I said, we might get 3 to 6.
Yeah.
Which I mean, Malik Monk could fall down between there.
Which is perfect, man.
Perfect for us. But for the Corey Joseph trade, I believe it'll be Okafor and a second round pick, and I believe in return we'll get free of our salary cap. Corey Joseph, it will be a veteran presence, and once we get on the track with everything, he'll be a great guard to come off the bench and provide for us. And I believe we can get a first round pick as well in that trade.
Yeah, all four seem realistic. I mean, they're just ideas. They're just ideas up like
I
out.
mean, I'm like to everybody that's gonna listen to this. This is not something that has been negotiated
Yeah,
between
it's just maybe
organizations. It's just a list that I came up with that I can possibly foresee.
Yeah.
And it's something that, we never know what can happen between tonight and tomorrow or until the trade deadline. We don't know what's going to happen.
I'm not gonna lie, basketball wise, like I'm just looking forward to this Thursday where we where the NBA All-Star reserves are announced. So that's the only thing I'm looking for this week because Embiid's not playing tonight and Embiid's not playing tomorrow. And just to wrap up basketball, I will give you guys a live update on the Sixers. I'm going to double check right now. Oh, no, they play tomorrow. My
Yeah, we
fault.
play tomorrow.
I'm drawing. I'm tripping. They're playing tomorrow.
Um,
Embiid, I'm so excited because I'm so used to seeing the Sixers play with Embiid now, and they're winning. Embiid's not playing tomorrow or Wednesday because of that. What happened to the knee?
I mean, I see it as a good thing. You know, we need to protect our best player. He has had 2 surgeries,
Yes.
which caused him to miss his first 2 years in the league. So I just, I agree with what we're doing, with what Brett Brown and Colangelo is doing. So I agree with everything. I'm still trusting the process.
Yep, trust the process. Anything else with basketball, or you want to move on to our last topic?
No, I'm ready to move on to our last topic. Our last topic will be discussed about boxing. It's something new that
Yeah, we wanted to talk about.
wanted to talk about. Over the weekend I seen a video.
Yeah, it's on
Okay,
Facebook.
well,
Yeah.
to all of my boxing fans, your boxing fans, um, there's a fight. There's an upcoming fight, March 4th, at the Barclays Center between Danny Swift Garcia, the kid from Philly,
33-0.
33-0, versus power puncher Keith Thurman. Um, Previously there was a fight that Danny Garcia had in Philly. I went to the fight. It was a birthday present from my dad, so we went to go see the fight. He's a big Danny Garcia fan. We went to go see the fight. After the fight, Danny Garcia, Danny Garcia won in the seventh
Of
round
course he
by
won.
TKO. After the fight, though, not too many people know. Keith Thurman showed up to the fight to sit ringside and call the fight. Not too many people know that. And after the fight, he got into a verbal argument with Keith Thurman.
Wow.
Not too many people know that. Now, over the weekend, they had their first press meet. With boxing matches, they have press meet. They talk trash to each other and whatnot. But this one is by far the worst one I've ever seen. Angel Garcia, father and trainer of Danny Garcia.
Yeah,
In
it's all over Facebook.
in my eyes, took it up to a whole nother level. The video's all over
Yes.
Facebook. It's about 3 minutes long. Um,
Curses at him.
pretty
Everything.
pretty much calls him the N word. Um, a B.
Yeah,
That Danny's gonna knock him out and all that other stuff. And in the video, we can see they get tussled up with each
Yeah.
other and they try to go nose to nose, but the bodyguards, stand in between. Now, my question is, did Angel Garcia overreact, or did he do it as a publicity stunt to promote the fight so they can get more money out of it?
Because you know how pay-per-views are, like, with boxing. Like, it's not based off of, like, viewers. Like, you actually have to pay to watch the match. Or it's something weird like that. Like, I'm not really, like, a big, like, genius when it comes to boxing. But, like, after watching that video, I feel like it's a mixture of both.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like he did it a little bit for the publicity because a lot of people are going to watch that video and people are going to hype the fight now. The fight was already going to get hyped. But I just think it was kind of ridiculous like what he said. I feel like he over exaggerated a lot because the curse at someone and stuff like that all because all because a fight's about to happen like in the future. I just think that was kind of ridiculous how he did it. Because you can publicize, you can overhype something.
Now the people, I don't know what they are exactly, but the people who control everything in the boxing world, supposedly they're gonna fine him. They're gonna fine him.
Yeah, they should.
And
fine
the second meet that they had between each other,
him.
he's not allowed to be there.
Yeah, he
So
it was a big overreaction.
hmm
But I feel like low key, like behind the scenes, he probably did it for publicity. That's what a lot of
for
people
a publicity stunt.
Yeah. But anything else?
Did
wanna talk about it,
did
or-
you look up the stats between the records between both fighters and whatnot?
I only looked up one.
Just Danny?
Swift.
Okay. Never
He
mind.
was
I was
33
gonna
and 0.
ask you who would you think was gonna win that fight.
Who do you think is gonna win? Well, here I'm about to pull up. What's the other boxer
Keith
name?
Thurman.
Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
Just give me 1
While
second.
you're doing that, I honestly, oh boy,
Yeah, who do you think's gonna win?
I mean, I'm a Philly kid myself. Danny Garcia is a Philly kid. Um, I'm gonna roll with the hometown. I'm gonna take Danny just because he's from Philly. I want to see him succeed and become a better boxer. Um, I felt like if I was to go with Keith
Ooh,
Thurman,
both boxers are undefeated.
exactly.
That's
I
crazy.
feel like this is gonna be Danny's first real test against in a fight.
Yes.
Um,
And 22 of them are KOs.
and watching him and studying him, he's a cherry picker type fighter, like a Floyd Mayweather. He picks and chooses his fights. But I feel like this fight here is gonna be a real test for Danny Garcia. But I'm gonna roll with the hometown kid. Um, and personally, I wouldn't be upset if he lost to Keith Thurman. But just because Danny's from Philly, I'm gonna roll with him. I'm gonna roll with the hometown team, with a hometown fighter.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on this one. I'm gonna roll with the hometown because Danny Garcia, 33 and 0, Keith Thurman, 27 and 0. I think it's gonna be a good fight. I'm actually gonna watch it. I might watch it with Dante. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, if I'm gonna be home, you can
Yeah.
come over and
I'll
watch it.
come over. I'll watch it. But I'm gonna go with the hometown. He's from Philly. I mean, I'm from Wilmington, but I mean we're around the same area, so I'm gonna go with Danny Garcia on this one. I'm gonna have faith in him. He's gonna make it 34 and 0. Anything else? Anything else you want to talk about? Or
I'm done for the night. I hope you guys enjoyed our podcast.
yep. Please like and subscribe to Josh and
Yes,
Dante's
like,
YouTube channel.
subscribe.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. It's all on the YouTube channel.
And one thing I am gonna inform you guys about, me and Josh will be working on a website. I feel like we can do more with this.
Yes.
I just want to get this out there. I want to, we have dreams that we want to fulfill one day.
Yep.
And, we just got to put in the hard work and do what we got to do.
And please show friends, family.
Anybody. It doesn't matter.
And like and subscribe if you like it.
All right. Swoop is out of here.
Yep. This is Josh and Dante signing off. Swoop!